All right, they got their basics. Let's peep those prize cards. Bro, put your prize cards on the thing. Wait, no. We want to see the prize cards. All right, they're fixing it. Definitely fair for them to have, you know, mess it up initially. No one's used to putting their prize cards over there on the glass. Let's see what we got prize though. What are we going with here, guys? Maybe a little pinky shake instead. All right, so it is Moltres, Inteleon, probably Arceus. I would assume Arceus is involved. It could also be... No, Arceus is most definitely involved, I think. We'll see, though. Insane hand from... Oh, I know. No, there's no Elsa Sparkle. I thought there was an Elsa Sparkle in Lucas's hand, but there's no Elsa Sparkle. But still pretty good hand. Has the... Almost all piece you want to see first is that Fusion Strike energy. So still really good hand from Lucas. We got, like, Genesect, Quick Ball, what's it called? Rose Tower, draw 3, and then can kind of go from there. So really good opening hand here from Lucas. And you just want to get this knockout on this Moltres on this first turn. We'll see what Pedro can do to potentially prevent that, but... Might just be a, what's it called? Pedro checking the prize cards. Love to see it. They haven't shown us the prize cards, which is unfortunate. I would like to see the prize cards. Oh, the doof. All right, let's go. Oh, there's Zapdos in the hand as well. So this is definitely... All right, I'm interested to see what's fully in here. So it's definitely Arceus, though, right? I can't imagine they don't play Arceus. It could just be... I guess it could be Inteleon, Bidoof. Hey, maybe... Oh, there's Arceus. All right, so a little bit less cool, I guess, but it could have been just like Inteleon, Bidoof, Bird Box kind of deck. That could have been cool to see. That could have definitely been cool to see. There's a Quick Ball. Gonna grab the Meloetta. Yeah, getting this KO on this Moltres is huge. That like sets him up like to just kind of win the game. They can just go like knockout. So they can go like KO Moltres and then go 1-hit KO Arceus V-Star if they get lucky enough. Or if they play Echoing Horn, they can go Echoing Horn KO. Also depends on what ends up on the bench. Once again, checking prize cards. Love to see it. Love to see the prize cards being checked here. Was it the Meloetta? Genesect. Oh, they're not going back in. At first second, I thought, like, what'd they get that they're going back in? I thought they top decked Escape Rope, and that is what they top decked. So yeah, we're looking for this KO on this Moltres. For Lucas. The Arceus will be able to respond KO the Meloetta, though. So you will lose those Fusion Strike energies. But can get the return KO with the Mew, or possibly... what's it called? Here comes the Rose Tower. Fusion Strike energy, then Rose Tower for 2. It goes with the Ultra Ball. I like this. Just completely thin out the hand. Probably just grab another Genesect here, to be honest, just to make sure you're drawing as much as possible this turn. I think it's all you're really concerned with. Yeah, goes for the Genesect. The one reason you might not want to get Genesect is you could try and go Mew or Ikorio. And that would kind of protect your Fusion Strike energy from not being on a Mew, because then like Pedro can go Boss KO Mew. But then you have the last Fusion Strike energy in the deck anyways to combo with Meloetta. So like getting a choice spell on the Meloetta is like ideal here. Because then that means like they kind of have to kill the Meloetta and they couldn't go chase your Mew with the Fusion Strike energy. And then if you play the double choice spell, which Lucas probably does, some people only play the one choice spell. Actually, that might just be Tord. Most people play the other choice spell, so then it's not that hard to get the return knockout. Okay, still got some gas in the tank. The got the choice spell. I think you probably Cramomatic away the Great Ball or the Ultra Ball, to be honest. Not the choice belt. You need that. No. Okay. You could alter. Well. Do I like that over using the Cramomatic though? Maybe. Maybe it is better. You still have 2 Genesects left. I don't know. In my head, I wanted to use the Cramomatic, but I guess I don't hate this, to be honest. This actually is probably better. This is probably better actually overall. The more I think about it, because you do want to like. Yeah, this is probably better overall. Because you do want to like the Cramo, you do want to thin out that hand of that Genesect. So now you're just drawing more cards in general. Yeah, this is probably better overall. Genesect 2 for 5. 3. Ooh. Oh my. What is that golden card? I cannot tell. But that is a gross hand. This is why, like, you're always trying to keep, like, an Ultra Ball. I mean, if you use the Chromatic there, you don't get to keep the Ultra Ball around. But you're always trying to keep something like that around. What is that gold card? I can't tell what that is. It's Horn? Oh. Damn. What a hand. There's the Beebs. Beebs for 3. And we're looking pretty good here for Pedro now. Now here's where Pedro can really get ahead. And, yeah, really start to turn this game in their favor for sure. So it is. Pedro can get super far ahead here. We'll see what they get here off this research. They play water. They play fighting. They play the whole gosh darn squad. There's a Sobble. They don't have access to Shady Dealings here. They don't get the Arceus V-Star. There's the Evolution Incense, though. So now we can see DTE plus Switch off that Starbirth. So now for Lucas, this gets a little bit weird. But you need to force your opponent to take a 1-prize knockout from here, or you do just lose the prize trade. So for Lucas from here, you want to go with Meloetta as like your main attacker. So you want to go double Meloettas here. I actually just need to force 1 Meloetta. But it's possible for Pedro just to go boss now, unfortunately for Lucas. So you don't want them to do that, but they can just kind of do that now. So this makes things awkward here for Lucas. Sheesh. Yeah. Now Pedro can just go like knockout boss. Like got the air balloon, got the DTE. With the choice belt, can KO the active here. And then boss from there on out. Oh my gosh, I thought they attached for turn. I was like, wait, what? They just put the Moltres on the bench with the energy, though, which seems fine for sure. Because you need to load up your Moltres, and then you can attach to the baby Moltres after that. That seems kind of unnecessary to do from Pedro, though, because it just doesn't do anything. So you don't need to do it this turn. Once again, Mew does not play Hand Disruption. So I don't actually like that play from Pedro. You should just hold the baby Moltres with the energy. There's just no reason to play it. It just doesn't do anything to do now. No, oh, I didn't see the prize cards on the left. The prize cards on the right for Pedro are basically irrelevant, though. So Pedro has this set up to go with the boss line. I don't even know how you disrupt that here from... Yeah, how does Lucas ever disrupt the boss line at this point? I think Lucas kind of just loses, to be honest. No. I think Lucas just kind of loses. I don't know how you win. Here has Lucas. There's the Crystal Cave. Genesect for 1. It better be some juice. That is not some juice. Yeah, this is not good for Lucas. You can Elsa Sparkle here. Get some energy on the Meloetta, and you get another Fusion Strike energy in play, probably on the benched Mew. And then if you do find double Tablet somehow for Lucas, you can actually get the... not pick the targets. Shout out to Pedro, though, for stopping the opponent. Let him... Like, a lot of people just aren't in the... Just don't think you have to pick the targets with the Sparkles. A lot of people don't know you have to pick the targets, so huge props to Pedro for stopping... Lucas and making sure they pick the targets. Like I said, we're just trying to play games of Pokemon here, so I'd love to see that from Pedro. Stop your opponent, be like, hey, you didn't pick targets, pick your targets. Lucas then picks their targets. Like Lucas forgot. Lucas is not trying to cheat, right? That's why I love to see that from Pedro. Just like stopping and be like, oh, make sure you do your what's it called, Genesect for 1 and another. Oh no, but they already attached. Okay, so I'd probably go next game here as Lucas. You never know when a game can run long. So I would scoop here as Lucas, I think. Because you get this Meloetta hit, but you're not taking a prize card. So now Pedro has like a turn to draw. To be honest, it's like allows it for Pedro to actually... This means Pedro actually doesn't need to take a 2-prize knockout now. What happens when you don't pick targets first? It depends on your opponent. It depends on what the judge decides is the ruling as well. I think you can go one way or the other. Oh no, they get the KO here. I was like, wait, why are we doing this? But yeah, the Moltres does get the KO. Then immediately Palpads the boss back in. I would just scoop here as Lucas. You never know when a game is like... This matchup probably isn't going to go super long in any game, but you never know when stuff is just going to get weird, right? You never know when stuff is just going to get weird and a game is going to run long. So I think as Lucas here, you should just scoop. Like, as Lucas here, I would just scoop. I'd be like, yeah, double Sobble, Beebs, like... They got squad set up, you know what I'm saying? So if I was Lucas here, I would just scoop. Like, it's just not worth playing this out anymore. Just scoop, move on, go to the next game. You never know when a game is randomly going to go long. So yeah, so I would like to see that. Definitely like to see that. There's the retreat. Here comes the attack with the Moltres. But like I said, this one's basically over, it feels like at this point. So I would just call it here, which I think is fine. It's like, it's a respectable concede here at this point. Definitely the kind of situations where I think you want to concede to save time. In general, it won't be like a huge, what's it called, either way, but here comes a draw. Yeah, 3 battle VIP pass in the hand. Hey, escape rope, looking pretty good. No, it's not. Do have the knockout with the Meloetta here, so you have that going for you here as Lucas, but you probably want to KO the active. But Pedro has 1 prize card left. Okay, there we go. I was like, it's got to be coming, right? It literally has to be coming. There's no way it's not coming. It's got to be coming. And there it is. There's the concede, and we go on to game 2. Could have done it a little bit sooner. Not a huge deal, though, to be honest. Not a huge deal at all. So could have done it sooner, but not a huge deal that it was done when it was done. Like, it just needed to happen. You appreciate the 12 months there, Kyle. Once again, pile shuffling. I'll mention this again. I think it's fine to pile shuffle at the beginning of a match. It is a waste of time to do in between games, though. I pile shuffle at the beginning of a match myself. Kind of gets you in the zone. I feel like it gets me in the zone a little bit. Allows me to count my cards. But once you're in the match, all it does is a waste of time. So I'll say it. It's just a waste of time to pile shuffle once you're in a match. I think, you know, leading into the match, you're not wasting any time as long as you're there on time. You don't need to do it. It allows you to count, make sure you have 60 cards when you sit down to play the game. You know, get you ready to go. But I've heard people losing cards between games, so not really a waste. But you can just check under the table. If you just check under the table and the card's not there, then you should be good. You should be good. There's also faster ways to count your deck. If you just do 1 pile face down really fast, count to 60, that's faster than doing a pile shuffle. So that's not a good argument either, to pile shuffle in between games. Because if you just do 1 pile face down just really fast, that's faster than what's it called. So it still is just a waste of time. I'm not going to hold it against anyone if anyone does it, but if you're out there losing games because you don't have enough time for game 3, now you know one of the reasons why, potentially. Looked like a really good start for Lucas. I'm curious to see if Lucas chooses to go first or second. I think actually going second in this matchup isn't terrible as Mew. And that's why Mew's so good, because like to set up on the first turn as Pedro can be a little bit tough sometimes, but just getting the turn 2 KO on the Arceus is also really, really good. So, but yeah, really good hand here from Lucas. Has basically full board, and then just needs to try and set up for that boss KO on the next turn. And then we'll see what Pedro does. I'm assuming like Pedro's in a good spot too, though. Has the option to keep calling. Doesn't even have to commit to the Arceus. You probably bench an Arceus, but you almost bench it a little bit more so as bait, and then you kind of go for the keep calling from there and just see how the game goes from there. I actually really like Pedro's deck. I really like Pedro's deck. It's kind of like a an upgraded build of what we saw Ian Robb and Nick play at Salt Lake City. It looks like a little bit. Got the B barrel in there. I like the look of it. Personally, I'm digging it. B barrel's cool. I do think most Arceus players should be playing the Dunsparce at this point, though. So Zapdos is a little bit less effective, but you can like set up plays where you boss KO the Dunsparce and then go from there. But if they have the Clara for it, that's where it starts to really hurt. If they have the Clara for the Dunsparce, you're just like, ugh. Yeah, get some Meloetta. I like that. You do want to go like Mew VMAX, Meloetta, Mew VMAX in this matchup usually, or Mew VMAX, Meloetta, Meloetta, Mew VMAX. So getting Meloetta out early, I like that. Probably looking for a Fusion Strike energy on the Meloetta or a DTE on the Mew for an energy attachment as well. You want the Fusion Strike energy on the Mew, so that way if your Mew VMAX goes down the following turn, you can go into the Meloetta to take a 2-prize knockout. Double Mew VMAX in the hand, obviously not great. I can't tell what the card is in the back of the hand because it's rainbow, but it looks like it is probably a supporter of some type. Just gonna get another thinking about getting a Mew here. No. I think they thought it was a Genesect, but yeah, ends up with the Genesect here, which you want. Triple Genesect, Mew, Meloetta. That is what you want here. Genesect number 2 for 2. Let's get it. Ultra Ball, Cramomatic. The hand is, it's all right. Now we get to see that card. It's another Elsa Sparkle. You don't want to lose all your Elsa Sparkles. I think Lucas could have been a little bit more aggressive here. I don't love the pass, but I also don't hate it. You don't really want to Elsa Sparkle this turn, though. You want the boss, so that's why I don't love it. Because you want to KO that Arceus. You want to take that out of play, take away the option of Starbirth. Holy moly, chill out, bro. Just has the Moltres for 2. Chill out. What the heck? That is something right there. That is a good start here from Pedro. That puts a lot of pressure on the Mew player. Because now it's almost like you don't have to boss KO the Moltres this turn, but like in later turns, it's just there. And then Pedro can really heavily now just play for the Clara. You can just like really heavily play for the Clara play. So super good start here from Pedro. Yeah, super good start here from Pedro for sure. This is definitely really, really good. There's the Keep Calling. Triple Sabis on the board. Check the prize cards as well. You'd love to see it. So Lucas here, you still go KO the Arceus. Like you don't go KO the Moltres, because the Moltres, even after you KO Arceus, can't KO your Mew anyways. So you're still going to chase this Arceus next turn as Lucas. I think I would have liked to have seen Lucas be a little bit more aggressive last turn with that Ultra Ball. And I would have liked to have seen him Ultra Ball away the Mew VMAX and the Sparkle there on the last turn. And maybe even, you don't want to cram a cram, but maybe even cram a cram. Because you just want to find that energy for turn, basically, I feel like. You want to find that energy for turn. Got a heads here on the Cram-O-Matic, so this should be finding them a DTE or a boss, depending on how many they have prize of the other, of one or the other. So, look, they're eyeing up the DTE. But if you have like 3 DT in the deck and only 2 boss, you want to go for the boss, and vice versa, same thing. You ideally don't want to give up that, what's it called in the hand as well. You don't want to lose that Sparkle, to be honest. Are they going back in? Yeah, I guess they could just actually instead of Ultra Balling, which doesn't feel great to not Ultra Ball, they could just cram the Ultra Ball. Looks like they are going to go with the Ultra Ball though. They only have 1 Elsa Sparkle left, and they might want to set up back-to-back Meloettas. So that's kind of the problem with losing the Sparkle. If you prize your other Sparkle, you just can't find it. You could be in trouble. So they're just gonna fail that Ultra Ball there. You don't want to put two Mew VMAXs in play here. DTE guarantees attack. Yeah, but you want to KO the Arceus. You don't just want to attack this turn. If you attack and don't KO the Arceus, you're in trouble. They're gonna Moltres want to KO your Mew if they have Starbirth. So you're not playing for just an attack. You're playing to knock out that Arceus. You can't let that Arceus survive. Like that's what you're playing for. At least it's not a question. You know what I'm saying? But being down the energy attachment here is actually kind of rough here for Lucas. That's why I would like to have seen him play a little bit more aggressive on that first turn, I think. Like, I think you wanted a Fusion Strike energy on the Meloetta, or you wanted a DT on a Mew last turn, so you could get the other one in play this turn. Also, like I said, in this matchup, I'm not too sure if you actually want to go first or second. Like, going second in this matchup, I actually don't dislike it, because it kind of puts the Arceus... Like, they need a lot as the Arceus player on the first turn. Choice Belt to the Mew. I don't love this. This maybe actually wants to end up on the Meloetta. So I maybe would have just chilled with that in the hand, but I guess you have the tablet in the hand to use later anyways, so maybe it works out being fine. Because you should know the play here from Pedro is to try and use... there's the Fusion Strike energy prized. You should know the play from Pedro here is to try and use Moltres V. And that's why Moltres V is so good in this deck and almost a necessity to play, because this is the turn where you go with the Moltres V play. Pedro only has a 3-card hand, though, so I don't know if Pedro could do it. And that's why I was initially like, should Pedro have sent... It was weird that Pedro sent up the... Sobble and not the Moltres here. I didn't see Pedro's prize cards, but I don't think there was the Raihan or the Moltres V in there. So they have a Quick Ball, which could have been the Moltres V. If they had sent up the Moltres, the baby Moltres, they could have Quick Ball for Moltres V, retreat into... Pedro could have gone, send up Moltres, Quick Ball for Moltres V, retreat into Moltres V, and then if that last card in hand is a Level Ball or Drizzile or Evolution Incense, they could have got the Raihan and then Raihan to the Moltres, and then knock out this Mew, and then get 3 random prize cards to work with, which I think would have been a fine play. But it depends what this last card in hand is. If it's not a Drizzile, then they can't do that. Oh, it's just a dead card. They literally just went Quick Ball for Hoopa, pass. And that's it. So now over to Lucas. Lucas just needs to get a knockout this turn, ideally on the Moltres. So yeah, you really want to boss KO this Moltres, and that's why having that extra energy in play on Lucas's side is such a big deal. Because if Lucas had like played a little bit more aggressively on that first turn, and then found the Fusion Strike energy for the Meloetta, then this turn Lucas can just go Fusion Strike energy to Meloetta, and then boss KO the Moltres with double Fusion Strike energy to Meloetta. But now Lucas has to hit a switch, and then has the boss, but they need to hit a switch and then KO the Moltres. They go with the double VMAX into play this turn, which I'm fine with to put 2 VMAX into play now because you're going to be so far ahead. We'll probably see the Chromatic away the Quick Ball. I would like to see the Fusion Strike energy to the Meloetta. Chromatic away the Quick Ball. Don't play the boss yet because you might draw into an Escape Rope, but if you draw into Escape Rope, you need a boss afterwards. So we just go with Cram away the Quick Ball. You could also hold the Quick Ball and cram away the... All right, we got the heads here. So now you can get Switch or... Escape Rope, it doesn't matter, and then you just boss afterwards. So you probably want to go with the Escape Rope here, because I think the Escape Rope is pretty much dead past this point, because the board state from Pedro is so filled up that the switch here I think is a mistake, because Escape Rope from this point on is always going to be them setting up like a 1-prize Pokemon. I guess maybe you want that option though to like get around something like an Arceus, but I don't think I like this play from Lucas. I think I'd rather keep the switches in the deck for later, because I don't want to like have to use a switch card and then like them send up a Sobble, right? So actually I don't think I like this play here from Lucas. I think I'd rather see the Escape Rope replayed and then boss the Moltres back into the active, and then KO that, and then keep the switch in the... Because now you just... Yeah, now you have 2 Escape Ropes left in the deck, and you had the second Escape Rope in the deck anyways. I don't know where the other switch is, but... Yeah, I don't think I like that play there from Lucas. I think I would like to have seen the... What's called... I also would think I would have liked to have seen the Fusion Strike energy on the Meloetta, not the Mew. Because it is possible that Pedro gets the KO on this next turn with a baby Moltres. Like, it is possible. This is going to be the 3rd prize card for Lucas, and once you go down to 3 prize cards left as Lucas, that's when baby Moltres one-hit KOs Mew. You don't have a Sparkle in the hand here from Lucas, so if you go back-to-back Mew VMAXs here from Lucas, you actually just lose the game to back-to-back Moltres from like Clara or Moltres. So I think it's a mistake from Lucas to not put the Fusion Strike energy on the Meloetta. Like, you just want to go into a 1-prize Pokemon if your opponent top decks. So we'll see what Pedro top decks, though, because Pedro definitely could have top decked out to be able to attack with Moltres. It is a retreat into the Hoopa and pass. All right, so still dead drawing, but it doesn't mean it's correct here from Pedro. Retreats into the Mew. Once again, now we have a 3 prize turn in the active, though. Pedro can actually still win this game. It's still possible for Pedro to win still, because there's 2 VMAXs in play. And maybe it's possible Lucas should just avoid putting VMAXs in play in general, but it is still possible for Pedro to win. They can go KO Mew VMAX, KO Mew VMAX. But if this was a Meloetta in the active right here, that's not possible, right? We'll see if Pedro draws the nuts here, though. Pedro would have to draw Scoop Up Net, Triple Energy, move the active. And then this Moltres could KO the Mew VMAX. But like I said, if the active was a Meloetta this turn, which it could have been, it's impossible for Pedro to pretty much win the game at that point, because then Pedro would go KO Meloetta, and then Lucas goes Mew VMAX KO, Mew VMAX KO. So Lucas gave Pedro a chance there for no reason, but Pedro was not able to capitalize. So we're up 1-1 now. I'm curious to see if Pedro goes first or second, and then how it plays out from there. This matchup, I'm very like it just feels like sometimes when the Arceus deck goes first against Mew and Mew goes second, you end up in a situation where you just like have very little, and then the Mew just goes turn 1 knockout. You just kind of like you get snowballed from there. So sometimes it feels like going second as the deck that Pedro's playing. You get off the Keep Calling. You just get like double Arceus in play, whatever. You just have end up with more options. It just feels better. But I'm curious to see what Pedro chooses. And I'm like, I haven't played enough of the Inteleon deck to like have a preference against Mew, nor have I played the matchup from the Mew side as often. So I don't really have like I don't personally have one, but so we'll see. I'm curious to see what Pedro chooses here. Yo, appreciate the 5 gifted subs there. Bagby, always appreciate the support, Bagby. Over to Blaze TK. Michael says hi. Clam, Burglar, Josh Hatter, and Bubs VGC. Welcome all to the pack, and those returning to the pack. We're all out of salt, but we got plenty of carpet. Appreciate it as always, Bagby. Once again, pile shuffling, like I said, it's a waste of time. If you really want to count your deck in between games, do 1 pile, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way to 60, hopefully. And then just riffle shovel 7 times off to your opponent's cut. So, ooh, Lucas's hand is pretty good. A lot of good cards there. Has the switch, has the Battle VIP pass. And once again, like I said, I'm going to be curious to see No super relevant prize cards here for either. The second Moltres being prized could be pretty tough to deal with, to be honest. The boss being prized also could be a little bit annoying for Lucas, I guess. The doof starts. So yeah, Pedro chose to go first. Let's see what else Pedro's got, though. This is what I was talking about, where it's like it feels iffy sometimes going first with this deck, because you just see that many less cards potentially, right? Yo, appreciate that gifted sub there. Golden Face over to Ryan's Resolve. Resolve, welcome to the pack, my dude. We're all out of orange juice. We got plenty of shingles. There's 9 rounds. We're in round 6 currently. Depends on how many consistency porters you're playing. If you play very few, but there's a little bit more, a couple more factors you need to factor in there, Prof, because it's like you don't always need to have a better start. You can keep calling now. You can play a draw supporter, or you might just draw into a decent amount of basic Pokemon, right? Then you're still just fine. So, is it cheating to actually see your opponent's hand when you stand up for a second, like Lucas just did? I mean, you just shouldn't be standing up. So if you do it on purpose to try and see your opponent's hand, yes, it is cheating. But yeah, you just shouldn't be standing up in general. Just don't stand up. Just sit down. And except tell your opponent. If you're gonna stand up and you know there's a chance you can see your opponent's hand, be like, yo, I need to stand up. It's just stretch real fast because my leg's cramping. Just put your hand face down real fast. Like, tell your opponent then. It's only cheating if it's intentional. All right. Pretty good opening here from Pedro. Has the Arceus with the energy, and the most important thing, has 2 1-prize Pokemon. So it's impossible for Lucas to knock out a 2-prize Pokemon this turn. And I think Lucas will still probably try and play for the escape rope. You'd probably rather knock out Sobble than Bidoof. So we'll probably see an escape rope here from Lucas. The other play you can make this turn as Lucas is to play the game a little bit slower, and you can actually set up a board state of you can set up a board state here from Lucas of double Mew with an Oricorio in play, and then that way they can't get. It's very unlikely, especially with a 2-card hand from Pedro, they have them get boss KO'd. So you can go Mew Mew with 2 Fusion Strike energy off of a Sparkle with an Oricorio in play. So it's very unlikely that the boss KO happens. In this situation, you maybe don't even need the Oricorio because the hand for Pedro is so bad. I'm not sure I like this play here from Lucas, because now if you get the escape rope, Pedro can send up the Arceus, but then maybe you're just committing to the Bidoof KO here as Lucas, I guess, which feels bad, but I guess you kind of have to go for it. Yeah, it feels bad, but I guess you just kind of have to go for it. Yeah, I guess you just kind of have to go for it. So yeah, you can play it a little bit slower sometimes in these situations where you don't get that first knockout. It's a little bit harder up against this deck than it's a little bit harder up against this deck than something like yeah, it's a little bit harder up against this deck than something like an Arceus and Talion with no baby Moltres, because with the baby Moltres they can kind of force like a constant 1-prize game, which can make things awkward. So probably fine to play it out this way. There's the escape rope. Like I said, you'd much rather KO the Sobble, but now you kind of can't commit to the escape rope from Lucas. So what Lucas could have done would be to play the Elsa Sparkle first. Then they could have looked here, seen the escape rope, and then got the escape rope, played the escape rope, and then Pedro can't really send up the Arceus there, and they have to send up Sobble, and then you attach the GTE KO Sobble. So still kind of think it's a mistake here from Lucas. Like they could have played it into that route. But all right, here we go. Ultra Ball again. Get another Genesect, then we'll be able to draw 4 off this one. Yeah, Bidoof, I think, definitely has less value than Drizzile. Drizzile lets you set up the big plays, like, guaranteed, whereas Bidoof is kind of an RNG machine. You still don't want B-Barrel in play, but B-Barrel is so much more of an RNG machine than the Sobble. Also, you know it's probably only a 1/1 B-Barrel, so if the B-Barrel is just prize, they just can't use it. But, you know, they have 3 or 4 Drizziles, so the chance of them prizing 3 or 4 Drizziles is very low. So you can also kind of catch them in that kind of scenario as well. Oh my gosh, chill out. All right, the nuts are being drawn. Because it's fully setting up, and you do want to try and get into another Meloetta at some point. With the way the prizes are trading out, the prize trade for Lucas wants to be like KO this 1-prizer, maybe attack with Mew VMAX next turn, but probably more ideally, yeah, you can go like attack with Mew VMAX, KO another 1-prizer, and then they still can't go Moltres 1 KO Mew. They could go Moltres V, but then you can go Meloetta, return 1-hit KO. What's it called from there? So you could see that. If there was a 4th Genesect in deck there actually from Lucas, I would like to have seen Quick Ball away Genesect to get Genesect. But I don't know if there was a Genesect prize or not here from There, I don't think there was. I think that was a mistake from Lucas. Lucas could have quick balled that Genesect and got the other Genesect out of the deck. So it's like one more less dead card in the deck when you draw and for the rest of the game. So I think it's actually a mistake there from Lucas, unless it's already in the discard pile, but I don't think it is. That's a sequencing mistake there from Lucas. All right, Pedro has the Starbirth. So definitely going to be fine with just KO Meloetta here, I think. Could go chase the Mew, though. Could maybe go chase Mew here, which is maybe a reason that Lucas maybe should have still tried to get down the Oricorio, to be honest. Because Pedro could go chase that Mew right now. And maybe could have done that even with... I mean, they only had a 2-card hand, so the chance that they have the Choice Belt or something else... Oh, but they could have had it. They could have actually had KO Mew through the Oricorio. So they could go chase Mew here. I guess it's not that ridiculously good to go chase Mew. It's okay. Like, it doesn't put you, like, super far ahead or anything. It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. It does remove the Fusion Strike energy from play, and you get a 2-prize knockout, though, so it is nice. But K with the Meloetta kind of sets you up in the same situation, I feel like, so maybe you just want to set up more here as Pedro. Let's see what they go with here. Ends up going with a Marnie. I wonder what the last card in their hand is that they went with a Marnie. Marnie's really not that good against Mew. Because you never know if their hand is... It could be like a 6-7 card hand, but you never know if it's a brick or like good. So I think it's always better to keep their hand as a brick. Because if they have a smaller hand size than that, you never use the Marnie anyways. But you're always freeing up their hand here, right? Like when you Marnie a Mew player, you... Oh, and look, there's that other Genesect in the deck. So now Lucas draws into this Genesect instead of quick balling away the Genesect in the last hand. So that like Lucas getting punished for not quick balling away Genesect. You don't need the 4th Genesect. You'd much rather have it just not be in your deck, because now you draw into it here as Lucas, and that hand looks pretty bad. Initially. There will be some other draws to be had, but yeah, initially that looks like a pretty bad hand from Lucas. So, and that's why you want to just thin out your deck as efficiently as possible with Mew. That's what the deck's all about. Being as efficient as possible with your discard cards, or keeping your discard cards around to make sure you can make your hand move and draw those cards with Genesect. So could have drawn 1+1 card here for Lucas that wasn't the Genesect, and could have been like an Ultra Ball, and you look at the hand, you're like, Ultra Ball's sick in that hand, right? So, already come back to bite them by not sequencing properly on that last turn. Pedro's still thinking, but I think Pedro, it looks like Pedro's content with knocking out the active here. Has another Quick Ball in hand. It looks like they're maybe considering playing it. They have this Sobble. Here comes the V-Star Power. And, yeah, we should see a DTE grabbed, and then something else. Grab an Evolution Incense, it looks like. Got the Hoopa down with an energy. Oh, and he's going to commit to the Hoopa knockout instead here. Which, I'm not a huge fan of this play, I don't think. The chance of Lucas getting the KO on the Arceus is super low. And actually, Lucas wants to KO a 1-prize Pokemon here. Lucas's goal this turn is probably to KO a 1-prize Pokemon. So you kind of give that to Lucas. You kind of give that to Lucas here. The ability to just KO 1-prize Pokemon. You make it, like, easier. Now they don't need Boss. Now they can play Elsa Sparkle for turn. And stuff like that. So, not a huge fan of that play, I don't think. Gonna go with the Escape Rope as well. You also want to get down a Meloetta here as Lucas, so a little bit awkward. Goes with the Sobble send up. I wouldn't hate to see the Arceus be sent up here, though. The chance that Lucas gets a knockout isn't super high. And even if Lucas gets a knockout, it means you just have Moltres return 1-hit KO them. So, I don't hate... I kind of like the Arceus attacking there, to be honest. Yeah, I kind of like Arceus attacking there. I don't hate holding it back either, but I kind of like the attack. We'll see how it goes. Luke's can boss KO Genesect next turn, though, which means he needs one. Well, no, he can't boss KO Genesect, because right now, if you put a DT on there, you're doing 180. So you would need Quick Shooting, but they already Quick Balled away their Quick Shooting. And if you put Quick Shooting in play, and the Sobble gets KO'd here like it should, then you're not getting... Then you don't have access to Shady Dealings in Teleon. So to be able to pull all your pieces together is going to be a little bit harder. I think the Escape Rope happened too. They got the Elsa Sparkle, so this is going to be a pretty good turn here for Lucas. The problem here, though, is Lucas committed the Genesect down, so now Lucas can't go into Meloetta, or can't do the double Meloetta play. There's no room for Lucas to go the Meloettas. The one thing you could do here is The one thing you could do here is Lucas is Psychic Leap, and that would open up the play for the Meloetta. But then if Pedro has Boss KO Mew, you're in trouble. So I don't think you can do that. So now Lucas is basically just committed to Mews here. So the game plan for Lucas has become KO the Sobble. You really want to protect your other Mew here. You want to evolve that Mew here because you don't want it to get knocked out from a boss here on the next turn. You want to make it as hard as possible for Pedro to get a KO. So you want to protect both your Mews. I don't know why they haven't committed the Elsa Sparkle yet. Maybe they're trying to knock out with Mew and then go into with what's called afterwards. I feel like I would just commit here to... if I was Lucas here, I feel like I would just commit to using the Elsa Sparkle here and just attacking with double Mew VMAXs here and go like knockout Sobble, Boss KO Arceus, and then try and pull off the what's it called play on the next turn, the Echoing Horn. But it looks like they definitely have a different line in plan, or a line they want to take. They're holding on to the Elsa Sparkle, so they're trying to use Meloetta still. They're definitely trying to use Meloetta still, but I feel like the chance of that happening is just super low, and that's why I would have just committed to the other line here, I think, already, but we'll see how it goes for them. They almost have the boss play. They have one less Genesect to draw. They could go Boss KO Arceus here, but with the V-Star power used, I feel like Sobble is almost a higher priority. They're going with another Escape Rope, so they're going for this Arceus KO, but I just feel like this is not necessary to go for. I almost feel like KOing the Sobble might put you in a better spot here as Lucas, give you one more turn to try and find the extra tablets and stuff to KO the Arceus, but they're going to commit to it. I mean, getting this KO isn't bad. I don't think getting this KO is bad. I don't know. I just feel like almost KOing the Sobble is better because you have to get a one prize KO at some point as Lucas, and then now they whiffed. Oh, they're not done yet though. They have a they have everyone's favorite Cramomatic, but I feel like this is just like unnecessary from Lucas to go for. Like I feel like just KOing Sobble there's just better. Like you actually just want to KO the Sobble. Like Pedro gave you the Sobble, like that's what you want to KO here. Because then you go down to 4 prize cards, and then Pedro can't one-hit KO you with the Moltres yet. So they have to do some other kind of cheesy play for the turn, and they don't kind of get to do what they want to do for sure. And then the next turn after that, you commit to the one-hit KO in the Arceus. There's the heads. Okay, so they get the tablet, so they get their KO here. But I just feel like KOing Sobble is better. I don't know, because you have to get a one prize one-hit KO at some point, and you have to still want to KO two prizers. So I'm not a huge fan of this play here from Lucas. I'm not a huge fan of this. See how it goes. There's the KO. They go down to 3 prize cards remaining. Pedro, let's see if they can pull off the Moltres play, though. Maybe they won't be able to pull off the Moltres play. I don't know what their discard... The big thing is how many energy do they have in their discard pile to even use the Clara? And if not, do they have to try and reach for everything? Send up the Drizzile. This makes you think they probably have access to Shady Dealings. Yeah, they have the Evolution Incense. I didn't see the top deck there. They're thinking. Can they pull off the knockout? They definitely want to here. You definitely want to pull off the knockout here. Because otherwise this Mew can like Psychic Leap away, and then the Meloetta's like a threat to be another attacker at some point. You don't want that to happen. So you want to get a KO here. Whether it's on the Mew VMAX or the Mew V on the bench. Or I mean, I guess the only real target here is the Mew VMAX, to be honest. Let's see if they can put it together, though. They do need some stuff. JD and Zinteleon. Okay, that makes me think they'll probably have access to the KO here. Looks like a Quick Ball to me. Quick Ball should equal Moltres. Shady and Zinteleon should equal the energy. It's possible it doesn't, though. Quick Ball the Level Ball. Even if they get the KO here, though, they're running really low on hand. So... Oh, they got the Moltres V knockout. Okay, this also works, actually. This works fine. Shady Dealings. They can get the Raihan plus a Scoop Up Net to reset the Inteleon. And then after that, Pedro does need 2 prize cards. So if Lucas can get the KO on the Moltres with a Meloetta next turn, there actually is a chance that Lucas can win the game on the... through that prize trade. But they would need to get Meloetta to KO this Moltres, which seems pretty tough. We'll see. Shady Dealings coming down again. They grabbed an E-switch off that so they can get the... Check in the discard pile. There should be at least 1 Dark Energy in there. we go. Energy search for the fighting energy. Then they should, yeah, dark energy in the discard pile to excel to the Moltres. E-switch off the Hoopa. They have 8 minutes left. Should be plenty of time left as well. They shouldn't have to worry about time here at all. This should be the KO on the Mew VMAX. And then, oh, and then a research after that? Holy smokes, chill out. They do lose the Shady Dealings in Teleon, though. They do lose Shady Dealings off that. That doesn't feel great. Did they whiff? Is there... No, there's an energy in the discard pile. They shouldn't be whiffing here. Maybe they just looked at the... Let's see if they can get the response knockout, though. Yeah, dark in the discard pile. Boom, excel to the Moltres. And then it should be that knockout here with the Moltres. Then on Lucas' side, easy knockout for the Mew VMAX. But if you attack with Mew VMAX here, Moltres is coming out on the next turn. So, in a tough spot here for Lucas. Maybe we could have done some more like Psychic Leaping plays even from Lucas. We could have seen that. Pedro not done yet. I think has an Ultra Ball in hand maybe. Definitely has an Ultra Ball. I saw an Ultra Ball. Could be trying to play an Ultra Ball or a Quick Ball though. Only plays one small Moltres? That's possible. I assume they play two. I actually forgot about Moltres V as a play this turn. I'm not going to lie. Another Sobble. Doesn't really need B-Barrel or the other Arceus V-Star, so this makes sense to me. This is one less out to Drizzile, though. I don't know if that's something they're thinking about or not. This is not looking good for Lucas. Looking like a dub for Pedro. We'll see. Has the Echoing Horn for the Arceus. I mean, that's something. I don't think that's going to make a huge difference here, though. There's the Mew VMAX. Sheesh. Awkward hand from Lucas. Looks like they're going to give up their last... I think it's their last Sparkle and potentially the boss. I don't know if I love losing the boss here, though, because like if Pedro whiffs, let's just say Pedro whiffs the knockout, Pedro can just send up Arceus and then evolve it to the V-Star and go pass, and then you need boss. I would like to have maybe seen the V get discarded instead. Lucas fails. I guess we're benching the Mew V in this scenario, but I don't understand why we want to bench Mew V here as Lucas over. So you could have kept the boss around for sure. Could have kept the boss. Yeah, Lucas could have kept the boss, Ultra Ball away the Mew V and the Sparkle, and benched the Meloetta. Yeah, looking for DTE for the KO and then hope. That's basically Lucas's game plan. DT to Mew and hope. I still have some options in the hand, though. Can cram that and then play the switch. Could cram the switch and keep the tablet. I don't know what you really need to keep the tablet for, though. I don't know what they're saving the tablet for, though. All right, got the head, so they get the DTE. They need to like switch this Mew to the bench and bring it back to the active, though, to be able to attack again. So it almost makes you think that they should have kept the switch, got rid of the tablet. They have one boss left. They should be fine on that as well. They have double tablet left. I mean, there's the KO. But I have a feeling that Pedro is going to have this. Unless they only do play one baby Moltres. There is one prize, but I would assume they play two. The deck usually plays two. So, let's see. Oh, did Lucas draw one too many cards? We'll have to go back and VOD review that afterwards. Yeah, we'll go back and VOD review that afterwards. Hopefully it doesn't end up mattering and Pedro just wins here. You drew one too little? Oh, okay. We'll go back and look at it. Yeah, Pedro's going through it. Oh, that's a cool play. Yeah, Clara, you get back the Shady Dealings and Teleon. You get back the energy. Then you get to use Shady Dealings. This one should be all... should be all wrapped up. Shady Dealings. Only gets one card. So that means they must have the rest of it in the hand. Hopefully that's not a missed sequence there from Pedro. Pedro's about to be 6-0. Pretty much guaranteed. Top cut, though, it looks like. Boom, there's the attach. There is the scoop up net. Sends up the Moltres attack. And there we go. Pedro wins 2-1 over Lucas. Lucas moving to 5-1. Pedro up to 6-0. Beating the Mew with the Arceus Moltres.